Well, that was ironic. My camera just kind of shut off right there. That actually happened to me last year as well when I was filming this. So when I started getting to more in depth and more consciousness base, it was like either my consciousness wasn't ready to see it, to hear it, and it just kind of short circuits out. So that was really fascinating. That still happens. Anyways, where was I? So you always know that you're on your path. Well, I shouldn't say you always know. You are always on the path that you're supposed to leave. It's a journey that we take, and it loops and it turns, and it always tries to, something within the universe, something bigger than us is always trying to teach us what it is we need to learn, what it is, what makes us, because it's always a plan or a path that's always being kind of laid out for us, always basically created in essence when we were born. So I am really rambling on today. So the last few days, as I was saying, my legs were going numb. I started having a lot of pains. Like when you have multiple sclerosis, there's a lot of symptoms, and it's an invisible disease. So I can look like this and you have no idea what the fuck I'm feeling. No idea if I have any numbness, any pain, any fluttering in the heart, anything. But for me last week, I had, it was like thousands of pinpricks in my legs. And when I say thousands of pinpricks, it was almost like a bed of nails, you know, like in the old circus days, where people would lay on a bed of nails and you're like, oh, doesn't that hurt? Well, that's what it felt like. But instead of nails, it was like those tiny, tiny little sewing pins, and they did hurt, and it was like pressed into everything, all my limbs, like all my legs here. I couldn't touch my legs. I couldn't have material touch my legs, and nobody had any idea. Now I knew something was happening because when I get really stressed out, my symptoms actually exacerbate, so they flare up. And I haven't had a flare up since, well, it's been a while. It hasn't been like that for a long time. So the night before, so on May 9th, I was a little nervous of what was going to transpire, because a lot transpired for me on May 10th, 2019, my year anniversary. And it was like a whole new awakening for me. It was when I got to pause and breathe and actually look at what happened to me, essentially like on the other side and here in this plane and dimension. So on the 9th, like my conscious mind ended up getting really worried about that. Like, ooh, now what's going to arise on the second anniversary? So I ended up stripping everything away. And what I mean by that is, like, this isn't all my hair. I started wearing extensions when I was diagnosed with MS, because I ended up losing the majority of my hair because of my MS medication. It would come out in clumps. And so I was scared of people to, I don't know, see me sick, I guess. I didn't want people to see me sick. And so I started wearing these. It's like, it's my mask. It's my mask. So people don't know the underlying truth of the memories of my hair. So I took my extensions out, and I basically stripped away my hair. I washed it. And because of COVID, I haven't really been able to color my hair. I did look at my roots. Oh, they're fabulous. I did it myself. But I have gleaming white hair. So good thing I picked black hair to cover it. I looked like a skunk the other day. But my roots were showing. I've lost my eyebrows. So I paint them on, I color them on. And so I washed those away. I washed away all my makeup. I took all my jewelry off. I scrubbed, I exfoliated all of my skin. I took that, dead layer off of my skin, my protective layer. I stood in the shower and I just washed it all away. And I actually fell asleep at about probably 7:30 at night, I fell asleep on the couch. My husband and I were just kind of snuggling up, and I fell asleep. Woke up at 11 and then went back to bed and had like the hardest sleep of my life. And what I mean by that is I went into such, I almost went into like that blank consciousness. Well, you do go into blank consciousness, but it was so deep and so long, and I got to heal from even more things. Now, when I woke up in the morning, I really didn't know what to expect, because that's when kind of my PTSD spikes up, or the label of that, because it replays every frickin' moment of that day for me. It plays back the moment I swung my legs over the edge of the bed and walked towards my bathroom, getting ready for the day. And I can recall every blink and second of that day. Saying goodbye to my family, I'll see you tonight, the drive, the walk to work, the getting on my nursing outfit, walking onto my unit, and then that's when everything changed. And then I remember every little piece of that. I remember the bag. I remember I remember it all. And I remember essentially dying. I remember the other side. I remember everything. And I wrote about it in my book, The Lily Nurse, Rebooted, Rebirth, and Finding a New Path. Now, I am writing my second book right now, which even goes into more detail of what I experienced and kind of that path that I'm going on. So yesterday, as I was coloring my hair and kind of basically celebrating my rebirth day, yay, happy rebirth day, which is, we make fun of it, because how do you not make fun of, well, it's not fun, but it is fun. We make light of it. There's a better word. We make light of it. So I colored my hair, I put new extensions in, and I didn't put any makeup on. And I felt this compelling thing to call my old unit. Now, I haven't talked to anybody on that unit. Well, maybe 3-4 people sporadically, but I haven't talked to anybody, all my old colleagues or anything, since I kind of stepped away from that. And for whatever reason, there was something within me that just said, call so you can put that peace behind you, call so you can move forward and really step into this path. So my heart was pounding. I was scared beyond belief, but I called and I talked to one of my old colleagues, and it was just like old times. Now, when you're taken out of a situation, you're taken away from your support group, that's really difficult. When you take a step back from who you have been or your identity for so many years. Like I convocated with my Bachelor of Science in Nursing back in 2007. I was in nursing school for 4 years. I nursed even before that. And so you take that away and you strip away from your identity, and it's tough. It's tough to kind of figure out how you need to heal from everything, but still scared to talk to them because they were the ones who were there. But I asked her, I said, well, first, hi. And she was just shocked to hear from me, but just to hear her voice and just to say, we miss you. And I hope you're doing okay. And I said, I have a really weird question and a favor to ask of you. She says, yeah, anything. I said, 1, do you have any patients there? She's like, no, not right now. We don't have any cases right now. And I said, can you take a picture of my spot? Now, keep in mind, she wasn't there that day. she was actually on a mat leave. And so I haven't even talked to her. She has no idea. Well, other than what staff members have said, but she really has no idea. And she goes, of course. Spot 7. I said, yeah. Can you take a picture of that for me? And she says, of course. If it will help with your healing, I will do that for you. Now, this whole time, I just wanted to be validated. I wanted to be heard. I wanted to be seen. I wanted a debriefing. I just wanted to talk about it. I wanted people to like acknowledge the fact that it frickin' happened to one of their own, not just like, oh, we're just gonna put all these barricades, all these blocks up. What do you mean you have to heal from something? You're a nurse. Like, put on your mask, get back to work. You handle codes every day, or not every day, but a lot. You handle situations every day that you work. That's your profession. Yeah, but it's not my profession to run my own code. It's not my profession to die and come back on my unit in the hands of my colleagues and experience something out of this world. That's a big one. It's not my experience to help them cope through something I can't face. So when she took the picture for me, I was actually doing like a Facebook write-up of the significance of the day. And I was looking at a picture of my mom. And my mom died in 1983. So there's my mommy. Isn't she beautiful? And that's me. I'm 5.5 months there. But for whatever reason, this kind of fell. It fell on my table, like this picture, like it just fell like from the heavens. And I looked down at it, and my phone dings, and there's the picture of the spot 7. And it took my breath away. It took my breath away because I got to see it. Like how she took the picture, it was like looking down on it, like this. And you got to see all of it. You got to see the entire space. Now, I haven't been able to actually look at that space. And I texted her back and I said, thank you for doing that. That actually took my breath away. And it was so freeing. It's so freeing to hear. It's so freeing to have somebody hear me that's what I needed to heal from. I needed to release that anger. I needed to release and let go. I mean, I did hold a lot of anger, not to like the staff. I mean, they helped save me. But there's a lot of elements that transpired, even the aftermath of it, that I was very, very angry about and I couldn't get over. And so seeing that picture was so significant, and I got to breathe through it. And so after that, there became like a new little spark, a new little sparkle within me. And it was like this huge push, like, I've been saying this for a long time, and now you're finally going to listen. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Thanks, both my moms. And yes, I did see them when I died and came back. But it pushed me to really pursue what I've been saying this whole time. But now it's not just what I'm saying, it's an actual, like, mission. Like, my mission is to be an influencer of change. And so I'm kind of rambling on today, is because sometimes it's hard to find what it is we need to heal from, especially when we're put into a box. Me with PTSD, well, no doubt somebody could be diagnosed with that because I died and came back on my unit. But there was all those other elements, like my awakening. And heavens to Betsy, Western medicine does not want to talk about that. And I essentially had to heal from that too. I had to heal from the fact that both my mothers that I lost were standing before me. Like that. That's a beautiful thing that you just want to tell people about. I'm just reflecting on, it was glorious. Something so traumatic and be so healing. And I've learned I don't just have to survive from it, but I can thrive